How y'all, Wyrm here. This is going to be a very quick discussion video for me, but it's something I think is very important. This is my second FF14 Discuss video of the week, primarily because my gaming rig's still down and I'm out of action until the end of the weekend. On the upside, I've been playing a lot more of my Switch lately and it's given me a lot of time to relax. On to the topic of this video. Now recently I've been watching a bunch of forums, discords, subreddits, even in-game chat, and a popular discussion is on everybody's tongue at the moment. They've been especially filled with so many questions regarding third-party apps or mods for FF14. Now if you're an FF14 player, which I'm guessing you are, or why else would you be watching a video called FF14 Discuss, and especially from a guy with less than 500 subs, subscribe by the way, you may have noticed recently that we've had an influx of players from a number of games, specifically from World of Warcraft. It's all people can talk about at this point. Now WoW is known for its thousands and thousands of add-ins. You can do almost anything with them in terms of the gameplay. You can design a custom AI with graphics, you can change the background music, and you can even have mods that will call out an entire raid fight for you and inform you exactly what you need to do. Now, FF14 doesn't have mod support like this. We have at most a dozen or so apps that people use to customize the launcher, tweak the graphics a little bit, and most popular of all, ACT, which we use to track our combat data. But the influx of players from World of Warcraft, a game that has such freedom in terms of the add-ins and mods it uses, sparked a debate and conversation topic all over the FF14 community regarding mods and add-ons for our game. Now I've seen thread after thread of questions about accessing third-party apps and such, and just as many topics discussing the development of new apps. Now this is a discussion video regarding this topic and my personal viewpoint after seeing the topic over and over again in the last few weeks. Now firstly, right off the bat, Square Enix has already stated time and again, and just recently as well directly from Yoshi P, that they don't want people using third-party apps to tweak the game or change the game like ACT. They do not approve of players using them. Now in regards to the current applications that we do have and future apps that may or may not be in development, it leaves them with very few avenues of what they can do. Now if people start getting very adventurous with these new applications and they start affecting the game a lot more than the current ones already do, I highly expect Square Enix to actually step in, even perhaps with legal action. Now I haven't taken a look at FF14's terms of service in quite a while, but if it doesn't actually state it already, I expect it to be changed very soon in order to address the new interest in third-party applications. Now I know what some of you may be thinking, if they don't like people developing third-party apps like this, why not just ban them from the game or just take legal action directly? This goes back to something I learned just recently. I learned that the person who's responsible for keeping ACT updated for each major patch that comes out in FF14, there's only one person. One person is actually responsible for keeping ACT updated to what it is right now. And the thing is about it, this person doesn't even play the game anymore, so banning this person is not going to stop the development of ACT, for example. Now sure, they could take actual legal action if the app actually breaches the terms and service of FF14. Do you know what, I really should have read it again before I made this video, but if you're very knowledgeable about this subject and particularly about the terms of service, leave a comment below regarding this topic. So let's go back to ACT for a second. Say the person who is responsible for keeping it up to date, say legal actions brought against them or just a simple cease and desist from Square Enix. If that happens, the person would have no real choice really other than try and fight it, which wouldn't be a really good idea. The app would shut down as a result, panic would ensue, and people would likely unsub out of frustration, because so many people at this point use ACT. Now say for example this did happen, ACT is not getting supported anymore, more than likely somebody else or some group with actual funding will come along and actually develop a new application for us to use. So say for example this did happen and ACT is suddenly not going to be developed or updated anymore. What would likely happen is somebody else would come along and actually just develop a brand new app, and then everybody would use that, if they haven't started already for that matter. Now I've read threads from people saying that they're already beginning development or R&D into such applications, and other applications for FF14 that matter. The interest is finally there in terms of third-party applications for FF14. Right now it's just grassroots, we've had so few applications we've actually used alongside FF14, but right now there's so much interest from the player base that people, groups, and people with money more than anything are actually throwing it at this scene at the moment in order to develop new applications. So another example, say the person who's supporting ACT decides now is a great time to step down because there's so much interest, somebody else would definitely take their place. And to be honest, since there's only one person actually updating ACT, if a competitor comes along with actual monetary funding behind them, it could quickly eclipse ACT and that person would actually find themselves with an app that is no longer required in FF14. And to be honest, after everything I've read so far and all the topics that I've actually seen on this discussion, I think that's going to happen very soon. I think a new app is going to come along and ACT is going to be eclipsed. Alright, back on topic. The point I'm trying to make in this video is we're getting such an influx of players at the moment, and a lot of these players actually have experience and money needed to develop new add-ins and mods, and particularly for FF14, new third-party applications. These people have such a wealth of experience from World of Warcraft over the years, and they're bringing that all over to our game. So more than likely we're going to see a lot of new third-party applications pop up in the coming months. Say for example you'd have new mods that would change the graphics to a higher scale than the apps that we use currently, or a more advanced app that emulates the functions of like deadly boss mods from World of Warcraft for example. Third-party applications like that actually do exist, but only very few people actually use them and they're very rudimentary. But to be honest, they actually are there. People have used them before in order to have a deadly boss mods feel inside Savage Raids in FF14. I've seen videos on it before. If you look up videos on YouTube, you'll definitely see those applications. They're mostly used in the Asian scene. Now I see this all as the beginning of massive changes in the mods and apps of FF14. And it's going to be up to Square Enix to see how far this will actually go. As of right now, Square Enix has made their stance very clear. They don't want people using third-party apps, but they're not actively pursuing legal action against people developing them. Their stance is literally the same as the stance they've always had over the years. But for example, if more apps start actually turning up that start modifying the core gameplay of the game, say for example a deadly boss mods variant for FF14 as I just described, I could see Square Enix actively stepping in at that point. But anyway, what do you all think about new third-party applications being developed for FF14? Do you agree or disagree? Let everybody know down in the comments. If you enjoyed my little rant here, hit that like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more just like it. I'm not sure why I'm recording this from my floor again, my desk is still okay, but honestly I kinda like it. Thanks all, and now, as always, have a good one.